Hire a private attorney. You're always welcome to have a private attorney. You can hire a private attorney at any point during the process. But for today's hearing, you don't want to be involved in criminal actions, particularly felonies, without an attorney. So what I'll do is I'll ask you if you want an attorney, and I would strongly suggest you say yes, unless you're going to hire a private attorney. And then I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll come back at the next hearing, but that'll give you an opportunity to meet with your attorney before you take any substantive action in your case that may affect your case. Okay? So just wanted to kind of let everybody know that. We're going to go from the top to the bottom. Actually, we'll skip over a few of the cases that are actually some of that don't have attorneys, but we'll start with some of the private counsel that are here. And of course, Ms. Dudley always gets to go first because she is at the top of the alphabet. So we'll start with Aaron Dawson.
Actually got taken off.
I'm sorry? That one got taken off?
He got taken off the docket, Your Honor.
Okay, not on my docket, so.
Yeah, I found a clear not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll take it off.
I did, there's one listed under attorney.
Okay, which one is that?
Lazarus Tellus, 22 CF 1117.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Tellus, T-E-L-L-I-S.
With a T?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tell. What's the case number?
Judges 22 CF 1117. Mr. Tellis is here for arraignment. He's been charged by information with one count of aggravated assault by threat with a deadly weapon.
Gotcha.
And one count of battery DV.
Got to find it on my docket.
We're going to enter a plea not guilty. I will file my notice this afternoon.
Very good. Okay, the court will enter a not guilty plea, and we'll come back. We'll come back for the June 27th pretrial.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is that your only case, Ms. Dudley?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tony, which one's your case?
Good morning, Your Honor. Well, good afternoon, rather. Your Honor, I'm here on State versus Brian Pate, and that's 21 CF.
Is that
P-A-T?
P-A-T?
We filed a C4 motion, Your Honor.
Tell me again. I'm just trying to find it.
21 CF 10.
Give me a name.
Bryant Pate.
P-A-T-E.
P-A?
P-A-T-E.
I don't have P-A-T-E on there. That's why I'm having a hard time. It's not your fault. Did I not get an updated? Maybe that's what happened.
It was sent out yesterday?
Wouldn't have gotten it then. Okay. So, why don't you go ahead and announce?
Yes, Your Honor, we filed our motion to dismiss, but the state is traversed, so we'll just move forward with this case on to the 22nd. I think it's scheduled for the 22nd anyway. June the 22nd. What's the? I think that's the next date. I was given 2 dates on.
27.
We'll come back on the 27th on the pretrial.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yeah.
It's Angel.
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
So starting from the, I think it's private attorneys here, I think so. Okay, so starting from the top, Eric Armstrong. If the state would mind.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Armstrong is before the court on 22 CF 1136, charged with burglary, grand theft, and criminal mischief.
Mr. Armstrong, if you wish to have an attorney appointed, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The court will appoint the public defender. As I stated, the court will go ahead and enter a not guilty plea, and we'll come back on pretrial June 27th at 9 a.m. Okay? Thank you. Brittany Boston. The state announcement.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Boston is on 22 CF 1261. She's charged with violation of driver's license restriction by a habitual offender. We would request a capias for a non-appearance.
Court will issue a capias. Tavares Britford.
Judge, you know bond on these?
Yes, thank you.
Your Honor, this is Tavares Britford. He's before the court on 22 CF 1160. He's charged with driving a license suspended and possession of controlled substance.
Mr. Britford, as I mentioned, you do have a right to an attorney. You wish to have an attorney appointed, or are you going to hire private counsel?
I wish that one appointed to me, Your
Court
Honor.
will appoint the public defender. Court will issue or enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll come back 6/27 for pretrial. Make sure and be in touch with your attorney in the interim, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Robert Cannon.
Your Honor, we did him this morning.
I'm sorry?
We did him this
Okay,
morning.
that's right. Christopher Klein.
Your Honor, Mr. Klein is before the court on 22 CF 1153. He's charged with written threats to kill or do bodily harm.
So, Mr. Klein, you do have a right to an attorney. You wish to have an attorney appointed.
Yes, sir.
Court will appoint the public defender. Court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll come back to pretrial on 6/27 at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Stay in touch with your attorney in the interim, okay?
Yes, sir.
Christopher Duval. That's one of the inmates.
Your Honor, did something happen with Larissa Contreras?
I'm right here.
Okay, come forward.
Your Honor, she's before the court on 22 CF 1174. She's charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession under 20 grams of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
So, Ms. Contreras, again, you do have a right to an attorney. You wish to have an attorney appointed.
Yes, sir.
The court will appoint the attorney, will enter a not guilty plea and come back on 6/27, June 27th, 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Be in touch with your attorney. Christopher Duval.
Your Honor, Mr. Duval has 5 cases before the court. 22 CF 1147, 21 CF 3287, 22 CF 969, 22 CF 949, 21 CF 684.
You know, I believe that only one is set for today. I could be wrong. That he-
That's what's on my document.
Okay.
Only one.
Bring them in. That's not true. We talked about it.
Your Honor, I do want to put on the record that I did put an offer out for drug court, but in the alternative of incarceration, but I am told that he did not get accepted in the drug court.
Okay.
I was told that the state denied me a drug court.
No, that's not correct. Well, the state did not.
Well, He was denied drug court because of his prior record. So it was, I mean, I guess it's a board
I
decision.
had a, can I speak, Your Honor? I had a attorney come, to hire an attorney, and he said there was nothing in my past criminal history that should have kept me from drug court, that the only thing he could see was, as far as he knew, the state denied it, but I ain't heard no offer from the
Well,
state.
you got the state standing right there
Yes, sir.
saying they didn't deny it.
Right, yeah, I
If they
understand
did
that.
deny it, then it ain't denying it.
Yes, sir, I understand, I'm just saying, I haven't heard, I don't know what's going on, I mean, I'll
Well,
ask
but
her
you-
to ask the state about deals and offers, and if they take 2 years community patrol with suspended sentence, I
And they
mean,
said,
Okay.
I don't.
Understand this, Mr. Duval. This is about a negotiated settlement.
Yes, sir.
Negotiated settlement is between the state and you, the defense, with your attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
Doesn't involve me. So, you're not, even if I wanted to do something, I'm not gonna do something, I'm not gonna get in the middle of it. What was, and I think you can take, for what it's worth, to try and be helpful and to move forward, and you can take what's just been said to be the case. They did not oppose it, but your prior record did keep you from entering that program.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, most of the attorneys, including this court, we're in favor of a lot of these alternate sanctions if you meet the criteria, because hopefully you can end up with some resolution that'll keep you from coming back here in an orange suit, which is what, may not always appreciate what I'm trying to say, but it's really what everybody wants. Okay, we don't want you to have to be here.
I don't want to be.
Okay, I understand that, so.
and Your Honor, just for the record, I will approach drug court again and tell them the state doesn't have an objection and see if we can get something pushed through.
I don't mind doing, I mean, and,
The alternative is he scores 49.95 months DOC.
is there any other offer on the table
No, Your Honor.
other than drug court? No.
Drug court or DOC.
You don't want it, right?
Would, how many cases, what's our heavier docket, June 15th or 30th?
15th, but there's only maybe 20 on the 15th.
Can you do that by the 15th? You want
Yes.
to come back on the 30th? 15th?
I could do that by 15.
Okay.
Talk to them, get that in.
So we'll come back,
Are we entering a not guilty plea?
Yes, please.
For the new charge, we'll come, enter not guilty. We'll come back. The other cases are scheduled for what?
The 29th, I believe, 6/29.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll, obviously, if we're able to deal with it on June 15th, we'll probably be dealing with all of this.
Yes.
DeAndre Fortney, if I pronounced that name correctly. The state announced.
Yes, Your Honor, he is before the court on 22 CF 1191. I show the PD.
I'm on the case, I was getting the file, sorry.
You're fine.
So we need to get her a not guilty plea for today so we can discuss the offer the state's made.
Very good. And do we want to, I've got it that we have pretrial on 8/22. Seem to be. Come back to 6/27 at 9 a.m. Deandra Frederick. DeAndre Frederick? Oh, perfect.
Yes, that's Casey Etheridge for Mr. Fredericks. We're here in 2022 CF 1206. Okay. He would like to accept the state's offer. It's a credit for time served and court costs. Of $515. $100 cost of prosecution and $150 public defender fees.
Stated agreement.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Frederick, would you raise your right hand so that you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You just heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement.
Yes,
Is that your understanding of what the plea agreement is, and you're in agreement with that? And your attorney is about ready to hand me a plea and sentencing agreement. I think you just signed it. Were you able to go over it with your attorney, make sure you understand all the details in here? There's a lot of legal stuff in here. Just want to make sure you understand what you're doing
yes, sir.
and that your agreement is free and voluntary.
Yes, sir.
So did you get all your legal questions answered on this?
Yes, sir.
And is the defense in agreement on as to the score sheet?
Yes.
You understand, Mr. Frederick, that by entering this plea agreement, that you would, you're waiving the right to go to a trial. This is the final resolution of this case.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, court will accept your plea and adjudication of guilt on both counts. You will get credit for time served and the court costs and fees. Are those going to, how many days does he have
I
to?
think I had 120 days on it. I may be wrong. I thought I put it in there, but I could be mistaken.
If it is, I don't see
Oh,
it.
okay. Would you like me to write it in?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I appreciate it.
Sorry.
So you got 120 days to pay all the fees and fines. If they don't, it'll go to collections at that point. Okay. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You can take it back, Juan. Thank you. Next is Garza, Odin Garza.
We're here in 2022 CF 1108. And if we could pass this for a few minutes, I'd like to be able to talk to him about the state's offer.
That's fine. Ryan Galt.
Casey Etheridge for Ryan Galt. We're here in 2022 CF 1083. And we'll be entering a not guilty plea for today and setting this for the next pre-trial conference date.
Pre-trial is on June 27th at 9 a.m. Okay? Make sure and be in touch with your attorney between now and then. Thank you. Jacobs, Jason Jacobs. The state announced.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Jacobs is before the court on 22 CF 646. And he also, that was it, Your Honor. He also has 22
I have
CF
22 CF
1162.
1162.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm actually, the state and I have come, well, the state and the defendant have come to an agreement, and I'm in the process of writing it up, if we can pass him, so I can
Okay.
finish up.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll come back, just hang with us. Philip Okaloosa.
Yes, Your Honor.
The state announced on this.
Judge, this is 22 CF 1202. Mr. Macaluso does not have an attorney, but I have spoken with him and conveyed the state's offer. He has indicated to me he'd like to waive arraignment and plead no contest to the one count of possession of a controlled substance with an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, court cost, and cost of prosecution. He has read the agreement and he also signed, also showed in the score sheet to which he had no objection. And approach.
Mr. Okaloosa, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm that the information you're about to provide this court is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at the outset, I heard the state say that you were ready to take the plea and sentencing agreement. I understand that. Just want you to know, you do have a right to an attorney.
Yes, sir.
If at any point along the way, you kind of say, I'm not sure I understand this, whatever, I want to talk to my attorney, you'll get some time. You're not going to pull this off.
I accept full responsibility, sir. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay. So, you've heard the state's offer, and I see that the plea and sentencing agreement has your signature on it.
Yes, sir.
You feel like you understand this plea and sentencing agreement sufficiently, where because you're giving up some valuable rights by entering this.
Yes, sir. Unequivocally.
That's the
Yes.
right to go to a trial and to contest this and to have an attorney, all those things. You're waiving all those things. You're comfortable
Absolutely,
doing
sir.
that?
Yes, sir. I take
Okay.
full responsibility.
And why are you doing it? You say you want to take responsibility for this?
Yes, sir.
And how long does he have to?
Judge, I would agree to give him 180 days to pay. If I need to write that in there, I
Yeah,
can.
I'll ask you to do that. So, the fees and costs, the $515 and the $100, you'll have 180 days to pay that, and then it would go to collections.
Yes,
You
Judge.
understand? Is that good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, any questions you have about this plea agreement?
Not this time, sir.
Okay. Well, this will be, once we enter it, it'll, probably wouldn't have another shot at it. So if you got any questions or any possible questions, like I said, we always waive that.
No, I will take full responsibility, sir.
Okay, very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea, and you'll have an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, and the fees and costs be payable in 180 days, and then it'll go to collections.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Does he need to do anything, counsel? Is he good? Does he need to do anything?
He was adjudicated, so I'm not sure if we need prints.
You need prints? No prints, Martin? Prints? No? Okay. Stephen McClovich.
He's in custody, Judge. Charles Russell Public Defender's Office, Judge, this is Stephen McClovich. Case number on the docket is 22 CF 1142. This is here for a felony plea day. We've been provided a copy of the information. At this time, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty. Request trial by jury in 15 days to file any pre-arranged motions. However, the state's made an offer to resolve. He has 3 cases altogether before the court. So if we could pass his case for now, I'll go back and talk to him and bring him back later.
Today?
Yes, sir. Please.
Very good. We'll pass over it. Stephanie Medina.
So this is 22 CF 1122. She's been charged by information with 1 count of possession of controlled substance, drug paraphernalia, and petty theft.
Very good. Ms. Medina, you do have a right to have an attorney appointed in this matter. Do you wish to have an attorney
Yes.
appointed? The court's going to appoint the public defender, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and enter a not guilty plea in your behalf. You can come back for the pretrial on June 27th at 9 a.m. Just make sure and be in touch with your attorney in the interim so you can talk and kind of see where things are going, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Zaki Moore.
Judge, this is 22 CF 1189. Mr. Moore has been charged with burglary of conveyance of assault or battery, felony battery, tampering with a witness, and criminal mischief.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office. Judge, we're already on this case. At this time, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, and 15 days of filing pre-arraignment motions, and we'd be asking to put it on the pretrial conference 6/27.
Very good. Court will enter a not guilty plea and come back on the pretrial on June 27th, 9 a.m. Okay, be in touch with your attorney now. Gloria Pettit.
Judge, this is 22 CF 1201. Ms. Pettit's been charged by information with 1 count, driving while license suspended, HTO, controlled substance, and paraphernalia.
So, Ms. Pettit, as I mentioned earlier, you do have a right to an attorney with these charges. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed?
Yes, sir.
Court will appoint the public defender. Court's going to enter a not guilty plea. And we'll come back on pretrial on June 27th at 9 a.m. Okay? Be in touch with your attorney, okay?
Yes, sir.
Jonathan Phillips.
Information at this
At 9 a.m. Okay? Be in touch.
Judge, this is 22 CF 1187.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office. Judge, we're on this case. At this time, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury in 15 days following pre-arraignment motions, and ask that it be set for pretrial on June 27th.
Very good. Court will enter a not guilty plea. Come back pretrial 6/27, 9 a.m. Jason Phipps.
22 CF 1197. Mr. Phipps has been charged by information with forgery of a written instrument.
Mr. Phipps, you do have a right to an attorney. You wish to have an attorney appointed, or you're going to hire private counsel? Court will appoint the public defender. Court will enter a not guilty plea. We'll come back for pretrial on 6/27 at 9 a.m. Miguel Robles, you're excused. Thank you.
22 CF 1213. Miguel Robles.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office. Judge, security told me that Mr. Robles went to the south end courthouse, and he was supposed to be coming up to the north end courthouse, so I don't know if he's still en route or what his
Last I
deal is.
heard he was looking for a ride because his ride had to leave to go to work, so this was about 12:15. But he was at the Fort Walton Beach Courthouse.
So do you want to recall him at the end?
Yeah, we'll definitely give him till the end.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Caleb Roche, and I think is always also on this morning's docket.
That's correct, Judge. Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office. Caleb Roche is present and approaching. The case number for this morning was 19 CF 1488. The case number for this afternoon is 22 CF 1198. The 19 case is a VOP, the 22 case is a new law violation. At this time, we're going to enter a denial on the VOP and our plea of not guilty on the new offense. Request trial by jury on it and 15 days to file any pre-arraignment motions. Ask that both cases be set for the 6/27 pretrial conference time.
Very good. So court will enter the denial on the new VOP and then the not guilty on the new law charge, and we'll come back on both of these, 6/27 and 9 o'clock, okay? Make sure and be in touch with your attorney on this. Andrew Scholes.
This is 22 CF 1225.
Charles Russell Public Defender's Office, Mr. Scholes is present and approaching judge. I've gotten an offer from the state, and so if I could pass Mr. Scholes to a little bit later in the afternoon, I'll go back and talk to him about it.
Very good.
Are you waiving arraignment, Mr. Russell?
Oh, we'll enter, yeah, we'll enter plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, et cetera, right now, and then I'll go back and talk to him and see if he wants to take
Okay,
the offer.
very good.
So just way back there.
Brenda Snell.
Charles Russell Public Defender's Office. Judge, the case on the docket is 22 CF 1084. We have been provided an information on that case. For that case, we'll enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury in 15 days to file any pre-arraignment motions. She has another case for the clerk's benefit, 22 CF 1309, that's set for a felony plea day on June 30th. With the court's permission, we would like to go ahead and take care of that one today. Information has been filed in our plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, 15 days to file any pre-arraignment motions, and then ask to set both cases to June 27th so she won't have to worry about the June 30th court date.
Very good. The court will allow you to enter a plea on the new law, the second new law charge is not on for today, 22 CF 1309, and also enter not guilty on the case today, 22 CF 1084. Both of those cases will come back for pretrial on 6/27. So just make sure and stay in good contact and come back on the 27th at 9 a.m. Okay? Thank you. Source.
Charles Russell Public Defender's Office, Judge, this is James Source. Case number is 22 CF 1203. I would like to pass him till later this afternoon if I could go in the back and talk to him.
Okay. Danae Steiner.
So this is 22 CF 1107.
Charles Russell Public Defender's Office, on Ms. Steiner's case, Judge, the state filed an information, so at this time we're going to enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, and 15 days to file any pre-arraignment motions, and ask that her case be set for the June 29th pretrial conference as she's in custody.
Very good. The court will enter not guilty plea, and we'll come back for pretrial on June 29th at 9 a.m. Jasmine Taylor. State, go ahead and announce.
Judge, this is 22 CF 1303. I'm showing that she was released from Putnam County, but I'm not sure if we have booking information for her, if she's at our jail or not. And if she's not, based on no response, her presence not here today, I would ask for keeping this.
Are we sure she got notice? Don't I just want to. When was she supposed to get out of Putnam County?
My records just indicate she was released at the time that we received this file, so.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yes, sir. Well, she was arrested on this on May 21st. I'm sorry, April 27th.
Right.
This offense was from May 21st of 2021. I'm not sure if Madam Clerk has any information about the notice.
It says that one was generated, but whether or not she got it, I don't.
If it was generated, where would it have been? Would it have been sent somewhere?
It would either be mailed or emailed out. And I don't see any evidence of it being emailed from this person. But if it was mailed, I wouldn't know.
If we set it for the 15th, Judge, would that be enough time to generate notice? Okay.
You want to just go ahead and we'll continue until June 15th and try and get her notice?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Thank you.
Will that be at 1:30?
Yes. We'll just, technically, we're continuing this arrangement.
Okay.
We don't have a 1:30 day that day. Do we want to add her to the morning miscellaneous?
Sure.
Sure. Luke Truder.
This is 22 CF 1121.
So, Mr. Truder, you do have a right to an attorney with these new charges. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed, or are you going to hire private counsel?
I'm not sure what my girlfriend's going to do, but as of right now, we can get an attorney.
Yeah, I'll appoint you the public defender.
Yes, sir.
At any point, you can substitute a private attorney.
Yes,
So,
sir.
court will appoint the public defender. The court's going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll come back on pre-trial on June 29th at 9 a.m. Okay?
All right.
I know we've got some cases that we're going to be doubling back on. You want to do the other three cases that we're on for, a couple were on for 1:30, and then Anderson was on at 2. And we can
Just remember, I'm ready
get
on
those
mine.
three, and then we'll, I'm sorry?
So I'm ready on my cases.
And Your Honor, I'm here on Anderson.
Okay. Let's do Anderson first.
Oh, thank you.
Patrice Cash on behalf of Yaquan Anderson. And Your Honor, we sent an email to your office that apparently he's already been relocated to state prison, but he's due to be released July 13th. I was text messaging with the state attorney. It looks like maybe we can set this for July 28th for resolution.
Okay. Very good. So,
There's
do you
two
want to do it,
cases,
we can do it in the morning and just be,
That would be perfect.
anticipate it being a plea. It's not,
It is, Your
we're
Honor.
not
We're
doing the
actually able
motion
to
to
resolve it.
suppress. Okay.
Correct, Your Honor.
Say July 28th at 9 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Then we've got, I know that we talked about it this morning, Bryant Pate, the motion to dismiss and the traverse.
And Your
Do
Honor,
we need to take any act? I mean,
Mr. Tony was here earlier.
I
So
know.
it'll just go back on the since he's out, 627 docket. And I
okay.
believe that's what you announced. And the clerk's shaking her head, yes.
Okay, so we'll come back on pretrial on 6/27/22, and just for the record, it was motion to dismiss was traversed. So. And then Preston Beverly, I think this might have been the one that kind of inadvertently got placed on this docket.
Your Honor, Mr. Beverly is present. He has two cases before the court, 21 CF 73, 20 CF 2105.
Those are both VOPs, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Beverly, the same goes, even though VOPs, we generally don't talk about them as arraignments, but essentially, we're giving a plea today, so do you wish to have an attorney appointed in these two cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay. the court will appoint the public defender in both the cases. The court's going to enter a denial on your behalf. That's the plea, rather than not guilty. So a denial of the BOPs, and then we'll come back. When do you want to come back, counsel?
We'll come back on the 3rd.
30th, 15th, 30th? Which one, 30th?
Probably the 30th, because I don't know if we're gonna have a file by then, so.
That's fine. So we'll come back in on June 30th at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Just be in touch with your attorney. Okay, so I'll just wait for a call.
We're ready.
Oh, we got something ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. We'll do it. Didn't know if you needed more time.
No, you're not.
Okay.
So,
Which one?
Jason Jacobs. He's in the audience. Casey, Mr. Jacobs, we did have a resolution, but we found out there's some extenuating circumstances that we're going to need to set this on the 27th, I think.
Okay. And I know there were, for today, we just had 22 CF 1162, but there's another case.
Yeah, I believe it's set.
22 CF 646.
And that, did you say, when was that one set for?
The 27th already.
Okay, so we'll do them both for the 27th?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So both of these will be set for pretrial on June 27th at 9 a.m. Okay, just stay in touch. Any other cases, Miss?
Yes, Odin Garza, he's in custody.
Okay.
And Garza's 2022 CF 1108.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome.
Mr. Garza would like to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest, and he would accept the state's offer, adjudication of guilt, 48 months of probation, cost supervision waived, $415 in court costs, $100 cost super prosecution, $150 public defender fees, restitution in the amount of $4,985.97 to U-Haul of Arizona, and early termination upon completion of all terms with no violations.
Okay. stated in agreement.
That's correct, Your Honor. This would be a legitimate, uncoerced plea bargain. This is a downward departure.
And the defense in agreement on this question.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Garza, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I heard you. I just was looking at your plea and sentencing agreement, but I got to ask you a few questions about it, just to make sure that your plea is free and voluntary and you understand what you're doing here, okay? So I see that you've entered your plea and sentencing agreement, you signed the back of it. Let me make sure of that, that's correct. Have you gone over this plea and sentencing agreement? You heard your attorney state the terms. Is that your understanding of the terms?
Yes, Your Honor, I perfectly understand.
Okay. And you've gone over all the, the legal ramifications, what this means legally for you on all this?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You understand that by entering this plea, you're waiving the right to go to a trial and contest all this? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your
This
Honor.
will be a final adjudication, final resolution. Is
Yes,
that
Your
correct? And is this plea entered freely and voluntarily?
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Very good. Based upon your testimony here today, the court will accept your plea and sentence you to 48 months of probation. Cost of supervision will be waived. There are other court costs, including, of course, important $4,985.97 restitution to U-Haul of Arizona. Those are required to be paid during the term of the probation. You will be eligible for early termination upon completion of all the terms and without having any violation. The big one, obviously, will be, paying off that restitution. You can get this early terminated. Okay.
Yes, sir, I fully understand.
Okay. Very good. Any questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, that's all of yours, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, I'll wait to hear when Mr. Russell gets completed with his, and we've got 4 other ones. So, I'll be standing by.
Yes, sir. All rise. You may be seated.
No, 48. So hopefully it's just, but it was gonna, actually, I want to make sure there's no. They're not trying to bring it here. They're not trying to bring
Because the jail won't do it without an order telling them to do it.
have number 15, Mr. Neklovich is first.
Correct.
Michael who?
Stephen.
Maklovich, Stephen Maklovich.
Neklovich.
If I could have a moment, Judge.
You may.
Charles Russell Public Defender's Office, Judge, this is Stephen Meklovich. He has 3 cases before the court. The one on the docket today is 22 CF 1142, but he also has 22 CF 446 and 22 CF 689, which are both set for the 627 docket. This is an offer that will encompass all 3 cases. He's going to plead no contest as charged except for count 2 of 22 CF 1142. The state's going to null pros, but on all other charges, it will be an adjudication of guilt, 60 days in the county jail, each count concurrent, credit for any time served. He would be assessed court costs on each case, $100 cost of prosecution on each case, $150 PD fee in 22 CF 446, $100 PD fee in 22 CF 689, and 22 CF 1142, and he would have 90 days after release to pay, set up a payment plan, or it would go to collections. May I approach, Your Honor?
Okay. That's the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're in agreement with the score sheet, Mr. Russell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Maklovich, you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Just want to make sure you understand your plea and it's free and voluntary. You heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. Basically, there's going to be one null process, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charges, all of which are possession of either paraphernalia or possession of drugs. So some of them are misdemeanors, some of them are third-degree felonies with 5-year total or maximum sentences. Do you understand all that?
Yes,
I assume
sir.
that was part of your consideration and all that?
I do.
So there's an adjudication of guilt on all except the case that, which count is null process?
Count 2 and 22 CF 1142.
That's correct.
I wrote it right at the bottom of the agreement right there.
Okay, very good. And so the rest of the charges, there's an adjudication of guilt, 60 days in the county jail for each of them. They'll all be served at the same time. So they're concurrent, they're not stacked on top of one another. Obviously, pretty good deal. Certainly understand why you would be interested in that. But these do have other ramifications, it's on your record, etc. Have you gone over all this with your attorneys, make sure you understand what you're doing?
Yes, sir.
And you're entering this freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that by entering this, you're resolving all of these cases?
Yes, sir.
You're waiving the right to go to a trial and to contest all of them, etc.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea as announced and is contained in the plea and sentencing agreement, which I see that you've signed. You went over this with your attorney, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And all of the fees and costs that are contained in here, you'll have 90 days after your release to pay, or it'll go to collections. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Miguel Robles. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not in me, I'm sorry. Judge Miguel Robles, number 21, is the gentleman that went to the South End Courthouse.
Right.
So I talked to the state. They're okay with moving this to 6:15 at 9, and
Okay.
then get him here then. We'll just
So
do
we'll continue this until June 16th at 9 a.m.
The next one is Andrew Scholes. Judge, this is Andrew Scholes, Charles Lake Public Defender's Office, case number 22CF1225, number 23 on the docket. If I may have a second.
We'll get out just in time so you can go out in this rainstorm. We'll wait until it finishes.
Maybe it'll be gone all the way down.
Can't even hear it on the second floor. While that is hearing, you can't even hear it at all. Sometimes I walk out surprised, it's like thunder and lightning. I don't even realize it. You can hear it in here, though, it's coming down. I hang out in the lobby for a while.
Judge, on Mr. Scholes' case, we've reached an agreement with the state in exchange for a plea of no contest as charged. The state is recommending an adjudication of guilt, 150 days in the county jail, each count concurrent, credit for any time served. He would pay court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, $150 PD fee, restitution of $724.43 that will be payable to Deputy Michael Brake. And I need to add an address. He's at the
Michael Blake, the restitution can be sent to the sheriff's office at 52nd Street, Shalimar, Florida, 33579. Yeah, or did we put a time limit on his payment, 180 days?
We
to
put
pay?
90 days to pay.
90 days
over
or
this.
goes to play.
Yeah, for collections. And Mr. Scholes is asking about, he has a hold from Santa Rosa, Judge, so he's just making sure that the clock on the 90 days starts until after his release, and that's what I'm saying. That's when the plea agreement says, 90 days after his release to either pay or collection, so release from wherever he is.
Okay, very good, Your Honor.
May I approach you on?
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, is it Scholes, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that the agreement with the state,
Yes, Your Honor.
or the state is in agreement, and the defense is in agreement with regard to the score sheet?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Scholes, you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement, and in addition, I'm seeing that same is written out in your written plea agreement, which you've signed at the end. Have you gone over this in detail with your attorney to make sure you understand the terms and conditions of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that by entering this plea, you're waiving the right to go to a trial, and this will be a final resolution of this matter.
Careful with it all. Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure you understand. The thing about this, a lot of people don't realize is you have a constitutional right to go to a trial and to confront your witnesses and all that, you're waiving that. You just got to make sure that you understand it. I mean, I understand why you're doing it. I mean, it's not a bad deal here, but, I still have to ask you to make sure that it's, you're doing this freely and voluntarily and you understand it. So nobody coerced you to get you entered into this? Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept the plea agreement, and the court's going to sentence you on each of the counts for 150 days in the county jail. They'll run concurrent. They're not going to stack on top of one another. You'll get credit for all time served. In addition, the court costs and the fees and the restitution are all payable 90 days after release or goes to collections. It tells you where to send it. I'm sorry?
Release after Santa Rosa.
Whenever you're released from jail. So whether it's here today or whether it's from the county, if they're holding you and you're being transported, you're not being released. You're being transported. When you're released from there, you'll get it, okay? Very good. Thank you very much. James Source. Thank you.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office, Judge. This is James Source. Case number is 22CF1203. If I can have a moment, Judge. Judge, what we're doing on this case is he's currently charged with burglary of a non-occupied structure, which is a felony. If he pleads to the lesser included offense of a trespass, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, state's recommending adjudication of guilt, 30 days in the county jail with credit for any time served, $300 in court costs, $50 cost of prosecution, $100 public defender fees, and he would get 90 days after his release to pay or is sent to collections. And since it's a misdemeanor, there is no score sheet. Can I approach, Judge?
Yes. That state in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you pronounce your name Source or Sourcey?
Source.
Source. Okay, Mr. Source. I need to ask you just a couple questions. Let me swear you in. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement. It's you're pleading to a lesser included. It's called a lesser included. It's a lower charge. It's actually a misdemeanor charge of trespass. And there'll be an adjudication of guilt on that charge. And you'll serve 30 days in the county jail with credit for time served. And then all the court costs and fees, etc. And those are all payable 90 days after you get released. You got 90 days and then it goes to collections. Is that your understanding of the terms?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've had all your legal questions answered with your attorney and you feel like you understand what you're doing? I see you've signed the last page of this plea and sentencing agreement. Did you go over it with your attorney, make sure and read it, make sure you had all your questions answered?
Yes, sir.
You understand you're waiving the right to a trial and this is the final adjudication of your case?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Very good. Based upon all that, the court will accept your plea to a lesser included charge of trespass and sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, credit for time served, with all the fees and costs, etc., that are contained in the plea and sentencing agreement, payable and within 90 days after release, then it goes to collection. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's your last one.
That's all.
Thank you all very much for all your hard work today. Effort. Mr. Barry, I